In the rap game, a comeback story hits different, especially when it's about someone like Rio de Young OG. Flint, Michigan's hardest-hitting storyteller, was on the verge of changing the game in 2019 when life dealt him a bad hand. He caught a charge, got locked up, and watched his career stall just as the buzz was building. But if you think prison broke Rio, think again. He's back, hungrier than ever, and ready to snatch the rap crown. This is Rio's story. Pain, perseverance, and enough wild moments to fill an HBO series. Rio's life started like a plot twist. His mother struggled with addiction, so 3 days after he was born, he was adopted. The woman who took him in showed him love, but here's the kicker. Rio didn't even know he was adopted. He grew up believing his biological mom was just a family friend. The truth came out in the most chaotic way possible. During a fight with his cousin, they hit him with, "You ain't even part of this family. You're adopted." Talk about learning your origin story in the middle of a brawl. That revelation turned his world upside down. On his track Molly, Rio spit, "Now I'm going to say a bunch of, I've bottled in, I barely know my family, I was adopted in." Even though his adoptive mom loved him, Rio couldn't shake the feeling that he was the odd one out. His biological mom had 2 other kids but didn't give them up. It messed with his head. He started thinking, if I'm not special, then why should I care? That mindset had him running wild in the streets. When you see Rio, the first thing you notice are the scars on his face. Now, if you're thinking he must have been in a crazy shootout, you're way off. Nah, this story involves French fries and bad decisions. At 12 years old, Rio was already smoking weed. One day, he decided to cook some fries while lit. He put a pot of oil on the stove, sparked a blunt, and got so high he forgot about the stove altogether. The smoke alarm went off, snapping him out of his daze. He ran to the kitchen, saw the oil on fire, and panicked. Rio's genius solution? He grabbed the flaming pot and threw it in the sink. The water hit the oil valve, and boom, hot oil splashed all over his face and arms. It was bad. Like, am I gonna make it? Bad. Half of his face was swollen and burned black. Doctors told him not to look in the mirror because it would freak him out. But Rio's built different. When the burn started healing, he had the option to get surgery to remove the scars. He said, "Nah, leave them. They're part of me now." Now the scars are his signature. They make him unforgettable, both in the streets and the rap game. Before Rio thought about rapping, he was hustling on Flint's streets. His early years weren't exactly the Cosby Show. He tried working legit jobs, but money from the block came faster. At 15, Rio met a dude who'd change his life, Peasy Mike. Now, Mike wasn't your average neighborhood kid. He was breaking into houses, stealing TVs, and wilding out. Mike and Rio didn't click at first, but tragedy brought them closer. When Rio was 18, his cousin got killed. That loss pushed him and Mike together. They bonded over their struggles, and soon they started plotting on a way out. Mike had street smarts, but he also had half his family working legit jobs. Rio had raw talent, but didn't see rap as a real way to get money. That all changed when his brother Louis Ray stepped in. Louis was already making moves in Flint's underground rap scene. He convinced Rio to hit the studio, and together they started dropping tracks. At first, it was all fun and games, just a hobby. But when a Detroit rap legend named Peasy heard one of their songs, things got real. If you know Detroit rap, you know Peasy. He's a legend who's been holding it down since 2006. When Peasy heard Rio and Louis' track, he saw potential and reached out. At first, Rio didn't take it seriously. He was still working a 9 to 5, thinking rap was just a side hustle. But Louis Ray convinced him to take a trip to Detroit to meet Peasy. That trip was a game changer. Peasy showed Rio how much money he was making from streams, features, and shows. When Peasy offered to jump on a track without charging a dime, Rio knew this wasn't just a casual cosign, it was a golden opportunity. Peasy told Rio, "You've got the talent. Now, you just need to grind like your life depends on it." Just when Rio started gaining momentum, the law came knocking. In 2019, the feds hit him with conspiracy charges for drug trafficking. The case was wild. Rio wasn't even caught with drugs, but wiretapped phone calls tied him to the operation. The timing couldn't have been worse. Peasy was also facing legal drama, and Rio was left to hold down the fort. But instead of letting the case crush him, Rio flipped the script. He started treating rap like a full-time hustle. With a looming prison sentence, Rio went on a recording spree. He dropped 4 called Free Rio, and everyone from Flint to Detroit was showing love. Even Lil Yachty tapped in, calling Rio one of the hardest in the game. Fast forward to December 2024, Rio's finally home. The first thing he did was hop on a private jet to Atlanta. No time wasted. He dropped Rio Free, his first track in 4 years, and it racked up millions of views in days. Rio's comeback isn't just about rap, it's about redemption. He's vowed to stay out of trouble and focus on his craft. With heavy hitters like Lil Yachty in his corner, the sky's the limit. Rio de Young OG's story is the perfect mix of pain, hustle, and triumph. From surviving house fires to overcoming legal battles, he's proof that you can turn setbacks into setups for success. Flint raised him, the streets shaped him, but now the world's his stage. Rio once said, "I'm hungry, and I'm eating everything on my plate." If he keeps grinding like this, there won't be a plate big enough for his success. Stay tuned. This is just the beginning.